everybody, I'm Kenny. This is Sagebrush Soul, and now that the Midwest trip's over, actually it's been over for about 4 months. It's a very nice February day in southern Idaho, and you know how the Tahoe ended? Progress on it. I haven't done a thing with it yet, but I did allude in the last video to this. It's a 2004 Blazer. I actually bought it a long time ago, many years ago. Can't even think of when, probably 2014, maybe even 13. My main vehicle was a first gen Dodge with the old Getrag, and I was jamming gears like Sonny Pruitt, and that was fine, except for the fact that driving around town in it and shifting and steering and all that kind of stuff, it sucked. So I wanted something a little easier to get around town, and it wound up going to a bunch of announcing gigs with me too. I could put a little trailer behind it, all the sound system, and since then, probably about 6-7 years ago, I sold it to my middle daughter, and she drove it to work at a ski resort quite a bit. So it's got some rust issues underneath it, but she wound up giving it to my youngest daughter, formerly Sago Mads, now just Madeline, I think is a new channel. Well, same channel, new name. Hope you guys aren't getting too shaky. There's a little bit of a breeze there. But since the Tahoe went down, still diesel very expensive, so I'm not driving my truck. And so I've been driving this around a little bit. It needs a few things. It's got a lot of rust issues underneath. The dust shields on the rear brakes are pretty much rusted away. We're not doing that today, but I've been driving it around. I haven't done an oil change on it or anything like that. I've got to go to Ada, Oklahoma this week. You'll be coming with me to that. But for today, I just want to get this thing in ship shape, and to make sure I catch my flight in Salt Lake City, which is 3 and a little bit hours away. I've already changed the oil. I put some Lucas in it, put a Wix filter on it that's a little extra capacity, but I noticed it was getting a little louder, and climbed underneath it to find that it has an exhaust leak. The flange that holds the pipe that goes between the catalytic converter and the muffler, a bolt just completely broke off of it. I don't know if it was due to rust. It's a splined bolt, and so I went and got some grade 8 hardware. Apparently this happens a fair amount because O'Reilly's had the gasket that goes in it, but we're going to try to fix that really quick. I don't want it falling off on my way to Salt Lake. It's got the 4.3 liter V6 sound, even though there's supposed to be a 350 with the front 2 cylinders cut off from what I heard. They still sound that cool. So we're going to try that, but first I want to make sure and show you what it sounds like now so we can compare it to after. It's just not a cool sound for anything. And it already makes enough noise going down the interstate at 80 that I don't want any more of that. So the shop that I built the Tahoe in, or did most of the stuff in the Tahoe, we don't have anymore. And it actually snowed here considerably yesterday when I was doing all that other stuff, but I don't have a real good way to work on this without laying in those rocks. And the shop's a train wreck. Not the kind of train wreck it usually is. It's kind of train wreck when you're trying to make it not be a train wreck. So we're rearranging some stuff in there. So I'm gonna put it up on the redneck lift and see if we can get under there and address this issue. I'm pretty sure, I think I forgot. So Mikkel gave it to Maddie. Maddie was gonna do a project out of it. They started looking, her and her fiance started being concerned that it might have a rear main seal leak, and it might. It's got almost 300,000 miles on it, but I actually think it's because it has a remote oil filter that leaked on me once before. I replaced it once several thousand miles ago, and it may have gone bad again, but either way, it's holding enough oil to keep it going. I've gone back and forth to Idaho Falls a bunch of times, so should be fine. But Maddie decided she didn't want it. They're going on a vacation to Hawaii, so I bought it for a really good price back from the two of them. And it may be that we're going to use it for the Buzz Factory as a commuter vehicle, or full boogie tilt. Burn it down! Tyler Reyes, he's flying to Idaho Falls all the time from Oregon, and we always have to go pick him up, which we don't mind doing, but for his convenience, we'd be able to leave this for the airport for him, and when he's in the Idaho Falls area, he'd have a set of wheels, and we thought maybe we'd dress it up for the Buzz factory to run errands, keep miles off everything else. That was before the Tahoe went down, so for right now, it's mine. And I don't need another project, but I don't know what's gonna happen to it. But I found that when you're pulling up on ramps like this, if you put it in 4 low, a lot less chance for slippage. There we go. Redneck lift coming up. Looks safe. Well, now that we got it in position and I threw away all the cardboard that we had, I've had so much cardboard here that it would have been great to lay down. I do have a shipping blanket. Maybe we'll try that. Get underneath here, I'll show you what we're dealing with. Oh, look at my butt crack. You can see that bolt broke right off. There's another bolt up here. That's very hot. It's going to be a little tougher to get to, and you can see there's no head on that bolt. So I'm guessing they're splined. So I'm going to try to knock that one out that's already broke. And I'm pretty sure the other one will break. But before I work on that one, I want to get this one in, because as many things that are rusted out on this, I'm afraid if I put any undue pressure on any part of this exhaust system, it could break. So I'm going to try to keep that up, but we do have a gasket that's got to go in there. So I'll see if I can push this out, get the other bolt in. I might have got too big of bolts. And then maybe it'll work. Oh, come on. Might need some oil. Oh boy. Haven't used this in forever. I'm gonna let that soak a while, see if it'll come back around, but in the meantime, I guess it's a hammer. I don't feel like that's moving at all. I did soak it yesterday. Oh, a couple more whacks. Might need some heat. Been wanting to record this sound for a video anyway. I can't get this one out. I don't know if I'll ever get the other one out. It's gonna be hot. Should I just weld it and have that technology? No, don't get that on you. Well, you rotten motherfucker. can't tell if it's, oh no, not at all. See how it could be welded in there. Go check on the air hammer. Not going well. Ain't doing nothing. Can't get the right angle to get a good hit. The top one's going to be that much worse. This takes much longer. I might just wind up putting a bolt in it and we'll still have a leak, but maybe not as loud. But it seems like it moved. This is about the place I burned myself in the video. Yeah, right there. That's heat. Ah, burning flesh. I bet it works better now. I just noticed that. Oh yeah. You must be joking. You guys are getting filthy. Well, obviously I didn't show you all of the time that I've been working on that, but it's not coming out very easy. I really want to fix it right, but I got a lot more to do before I go, but at least it won't fall out, but I'll have to tolerate it for a while if I can get that out. I think we're this close, but I'm gonna let the peanut butter soak in there. Again, heat it up one more time now that I figured out what's wrong with it. Let me show you that real quick. This thingy here threads in and threads out, and I haven't used it in a long time, and I've probably hauled it a lot, so it just worked itself loose. I remember that on those little Harbor Freight die grinder thingies, angle grinders. Same kind of thing. So it works, and it's well oiled now. I mean, way over oiled. But another thing that I'm a little concerned about the transmission. Seems like it has a weird little vibration when it gets up. It could have been the exhaust that I thought, but I mean, it could be a cracked flex plate, but I don't think I ever had the transmission serviced, and Mikkel had it for quite a while. Her stepdad's a really good mechanic, and he might have, but it doesn't smell terrible. But I'm just gonna give this stuff a try. I've never used it before, the Lucas stop slip transmission fix, just to see. Can't hurt. And then along with changing the oil yesterday, actually it idles kind of rough, and so I did the ignition coil on it as well. And I pulled the air filter, blew it out pretty good. It was probably fine, but I like switching everything over to Wix. It's got a Fram in it right now, so we'll do that. And the heater works fine, but it doesn't come up to temperature, and it keeps giving me an engine code that it's got too cool of a thermostat in it. So the factory says 195. I picked up one of those. I'm just gonna look and see if I got time, because we got a whole bunch of other shit going on here. It's crazy. Now I understand that it's okay to slightly overfill it. It's just a touch low, but not that much. So hopefully we don't lock her up with this. But I think it said you could put in a quart. Add to existing fluid with engine warm and idling, or with a fluid change. Well, okay. Guess that's all right. I'll grab my phone. Don't know why I'm worried about the exhaust getting hot. I've been heating it with a torch. All right, I'm gonna change the air filter. Super simple. Just a screw there, screw there, screw there, screw there, Then this comes off. It's been cold, but it's actually a perfect day for this. I don't know, 50 something. So I actually went and washed this right before this project because I wanted to blast the undercarriage so I didn't have all the dirt and stuff falling in my eyes. And it's, as you can tell, it's nice and sunny out. And in a perfect blue sky day, oops, I don't think I had that on right. But perfect blue sky day, literally 2 minutes after I pull out of the car wash, starts raining out of nowhere, and significantly too. So I don't know what's up with that, but I don't know what. I'm guessing it's a Fram, but the Wix is orange too. So anyway, it's a little dirty. I blew it out pretty good yesterday, but I figure fresh oil. The only thing I didn't do is spark plugs, but I think I got to do that too. No, different part numbers. Loaded up. A lot of times I like to do work like this several days before I go out on the road, but just didn't have time and the weather to do it this time. Just in case you forgot to tighten something, or we've had a lot of oil change place incidents lately with the whole Live a Little fleet. So I kind of don't like doing this close to heading out. I like to get a few miles in before I head out. But the last time this went to the Salt Lake City airport, I think it was in 2016. It's going out to announce the Kentucky Invitational in Lexington, Kentucky. And for whatever reason, I got back, it did not want to start. And it was cold. It was in January. Wound up sleeping in it that night in the airport parking lot. Was going to go back into the airport. Wound up having to get it towed back to Logan from Salt Lake when I lived in northern Utah. And so I'm just trying to give it every chance that I can to be fine when I get back. So just going out to Oklahoma for fly out early Thursday morning, be there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think this might have been the culprit last time, so I actually switched that out. I can't remember if I changed it or not after. It kind of looks like one I'd have bought, but I don't know too if that's the cap and rotor that I put on it, but someday it might need that, but I'm just not dealing with that right now. So the thermostat's right here, but now that I just ran the engine to put in that fluid, I think I'll hold off a little bit on that and check and see what the temperature of that is, and maybe go back to the exhaust and see if we can get that going. So I'm gonna climb back underneath there, see what I'm trying to do. If I'm victorious, I don't think it'll be all that awesome. In order to do the proper fix on it though, I'll probably have to pull all of that exhaust out. And like I say, I'm behind. I'm building a mini golf course for the Buzz Factory. Vicky's got painting projects going on that I'll tell you about as we go on. So I'm just gonna hurry and jump down here and give the camera a break. Try to get that knocked out and show you whatever I came up with. I got it out, and I'm hoping that my bolts are the right size. I got some grade 8. I know I should have got fine thread, but I just got some lock washers, and I might even do a little tack on them just to keep them from vibrating loose. The exhaust vibrates a bunch, but I don't know. I'm gonna put this in, see how it goes, tighten it down, see how it sounds. But I think the only way I'm going to get that other one out, as soon as I try to put a wrench on it, it's going to snap off. But like I said, I'm worried about how rusty it is on the inside. Like, I don't want to break the exhaust from there back. That could potentially be dangerous, carbon monoxide and whatnot. But I think the only way I'm going to get the other one of these out is if I let that exhaust come down a little bit where I can get a different angle on it. The heat is what did the trick. And I'm hoping I got this still hotter than hell. That's why I'm holding it like that. But I'd really like to fix it right. But I don't wear a watch. Yeah. Got a lot of other stuff to do today. So I don't know. I'll put this in and we'll take a listen. Ooh. Still very hot. Why didn't I grab a wrench before I came down here? Alright, let's see what it sounds like. Get all the microphones in on this just so we can get a good comparison. Sounds different. Still pretty noisy because that gasket's gone in there. Alright, to do the thermostat, we just have this bolt and this bolt, and it has like a O-ring gasket, I hope. I don't think I've ever done this one. Why are we... Oh, I think I had my oil on my hands when I touched it earlier. It's not water. They're 13 millimeter. I might break my 1/4 inch drive there. Those are in there. I'm gonna lose a little coolant. She's got a flush coming her way, so if I lose too much, probably just fill it with water, but I just noticed I got a little bit left in the garage. Probably still good. So again, the reason I'm doing this is I think it's either stuck or somebody put a lower temperature one in it. Where my daughter used to work was a pretty significant pull. It might have been getting hot on her. They might have put a cooler one in it, but it keeps flashing that the thermostat is too low, and the gauge agrees. I guess the gauge is controlled by the computer and sensors and stuff, so that would be the case. But yeah, it doesn't even get near, I don't know, probably topping out around 180 or something like that. But again, the heater works fine. You probably already know that if the thermostat gets stuck one way or another, it's either going to cause you to overheat depending on the temperature, or your heater won't function properly. Boy, I hope this isn't too tough to get out. See how big a mess we're going to make. Oh yeah. A little bit. Gosh, am I going to be able to sneak that out of there? Oh, she looks pretty crusty. Yeah, she needs flushed. Seems to be pretty good. It's usually written on here, but I noticed the one that I just bought doesn't have it stamped in here. It doesn't look like this one does either. I'm not gonna take the time, but if you got something you can measure the temperature of water with and a pot of water, you can test them. Might do that later, just for the example, but I cannot see what that is. It could just be wore out too, not opening properly. And I wonder when they stopped putting the temperature on these things. Oh, interesting. Same brand. This one has a part number on it. It's supposed to be a 195. I'm not seeing a part number on this old one. So I don't know what we're dealing with. Jai.
Scare you?
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Every time. What's going on here?
Good. I got the bolt in, but I didn't get it fixed. So that's pretty interesting. I just looked and that's where they stamp them. I'm used to it being on here or something, but I don't know if you can see, but right inside there, it is a 195 and it has been replaced at some point in time. And the check engine light only came on after I drove it a fair amount, but ever since I've had it, I've noticed that the temperature doesn't come up. So hopefully that does feel a little bit. Can't see if you can see that. Yeah, the temperature is right in there. And by the way, the gaskets come separate. If you're trying to learn anything, you probably already know. All right, I'm gonna let it run, bring it up to temperature, and while it's up on the jacks, I'm gonna look over everything that I've touched yesterday and today, make sure we're good to go, and then move on to some woodworking stuff, I guess. So that's the service engine light I got clear, and that is hotter than usually. I never saw it get past that line, so that other thermostat must have been bad. We might be able to catch an opening here pretty quick, and that should drop back down. I think that's about where it ought to run, right there, but it should open and drop here pretty quick, I would think. Don't get too hot in here. It wasn't very dramatic if that was it, but it's, yep, there it goes. Okay, thermostat opened, so we should be in good shape there. I'm just going to clear that code with the computer, and that'll be a better deal all the way around. I don't know if you can see, but that is the one that it said the thermostat was too low. I think we got that fixed. What else are we talking about here? Oh shit, did the wrong thing. What else we got? Don't know what that means. Wonder if that evaporative thing has anything to do with that exhaust. It's right by the O2 sensor, but I don't know. We'll clear those up. Well, folks, I've got to get packed. I got a few things to do out here in the shop before I do that. I know we talked about doing some woodwork, and I'll show you all that stuff as we go, what we're up to and what we're doing. Hope you don't mind this new editing style. I want to get more content out, and I can't sit and edit. If you want to see more stuff behind the scenes, go to Instagram, Sagebrush Soul AE on Instagram, Sagebrush Soul AE on Facebook, and I think it's the same on TikTok. I don't post a lot, trying to change that, but follow us over there. I feel pretty good about the Blazer getting me to Salt Lake and not repeating what happened to me the first time I took it down there. We got all that stuff done. I'm really excited to get that exhaust fixed. And if we run into a problem, what I'm going to wind up doing is probably just doing a cheap glass pack or something, which not my favorite idea, but I don't want to soak a bunch of money into that because I don't know what it's ultimately going to be just yet, because I want to get back and invest most of it in the Tahoe. But I've been thinking about it. I don't think I'm going to probably do much in Ada. Just follow me on Instagram and all that stuff with that. I don't think I'll do a YouTube video on it because it's our first show of the season. We got a whole new dynamic. I've got to be on my game. Probably not going to think about picking up a camera the whole time that I'm out there, but going to try to get weekly content going, and it's just going to be following me around, seeing what I'm doing. We're doing a lot with the Buzz Factory in Idaho Falls. I know if you're new to the channel, none of this stuff makes sense, but go back, check out the channel. You'll see what it's all about. Check out all the videos. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. My name's Kenny. This is Sagebrush Soul. May the best of your past be the worst of your future.